stuck whenever I do this. What's up, Eurovision people? My name is Sean, and I am joined once again, by my friends, reactors, fellow fans of Eurovision. It's officially Eurovision week. The time we've been waiting
Yeah.
for so long is again here, but this time we had to wait 1 year, not two. Would you like to introduce yourselves, starting from my
Yeah,
left?
as always, I'm George from Italy, and then we have
Hi, I'm Becca from Malta, and to my left. All right, I always get confused.
Nikea from
there.
Albania.
Nice to have you, Mikea. First time on our panel. Very good to have
Nice
you.
to have you too.
You're in Turin, right now?
No, after tomorrow, yes.
After tomorrow,
Whoa,
okay.
are you going to see the live?
Yeah, yeah, I'm
That's
going for
nice.
the live show. Yeah.
Ah, damn, how lucky.
Which ones are you seeing?
Sorry, I didn't get it.
Which ones are you seeing?
All the shows.
All of them? Like the
Yeah, all
lives?
the live shows. Yes, going.
Whoa.
Yeah, going stream on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Yeah.
Interesting. Did you pay that for
That's
yourself?
pretty
Yeah.
That's rich.
good. That's rich. Speaking of that rich, second rehearsals are behind us, and we have seen all 40 songs being performed. We've seen it once, but they were performed twice in rehearsals. And I want to get to know a little bit. I know it's a bit of a taboo topic, but what are your guys' impressions of the stage? Because this year, I think we've never had more conversation about the stage than we have had in 2022. And I'm going to start with Giorgio because we are in Italy and you are Italian. Have your Italian friends given us a good stage?
Well, I mean, the idea is wonderful, but I'm pretty disappointed in how they're handling it. Like the stage is supposed to turn, and in fact, there are videos where it turns in 20 seconds, but the producers decided not to let anyone turn it in fear that something might go wrong, which, in my opinion, is not really an issue. And it's also not fair for the artists who were relying on making it turn or using the LED side. So yeah, it's a good idea, but it's not executed well, and they should have made sure that it would have worked perfectly before they built it. But let's see if somebody else likes it more.
What do you think? Okay.
Me, okay.
Oh yeah,
Because
I
then
thought
stuck.
you said Becca. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, for
same.
me it was a bit disappointing too. Like I don't know what happened with them because they left all the things for the last minute, and it wasn't tested as they should have done it. But I think now it's like fair for all the countries as long as they have substituted the LED part of the sun with lights. And some of the countries are lucky because they haven't been planning to use all the LED, all the sun, but some other countries are like failing, and it's a bit disappointing. And I don't have anything personally with Italy, but it's like their time to express that they must make the things like in a different way that we have been watching all this year, like in Tel Aviv, in the Netherlands, in the, if I don't know, in other countries, in Portugal, and they just wanted to show us something different, but it wasn't as different as they wanted to do it in a negative way. So
But
I'm
I
a bit
don't really think
disappointed,
it's
to be
Italy's
honest.
fault, because it's more like, I feel like the EBU's directors are all Northern Europeans, and those people are like unable to improvise. Like if something goes wrong, then they panic, and they don't want the show to delay by even 10 seconds. And that's why they're going for the safe option of not making it turn, because something might go wrong, but yet they're allowing it to turn for the guest performers, which in my opinion makes no sense. At least that's what I heard. So I think it's more of a
Yeah,
decision from the EBU. Like for the next 30
sorry to
years, we're
interrupt.
totally getting.
No, I just wanted to say, like, the Eurovision delegations already sent their plans in the beginning of March, and they
Exactly.
had all the time like to prove, like with all LED, like with the lights, with the stage improving and all the things. So it's not like they just were waiting for the rehearsals, because the rehearsals, the only thing that changed is the singer that sings the song and tests his voice.
Exactly.
But all the stage effects, like they had 2 months to test them. All the delegations send their entries with all the specifying things in the 12th of March. So that's why I'm a bit disappointed, because they already had time to test how the 3 minutes would have gone for each country.
I
Yeah,
think
and
it's
they did make
there
it
is a
turn.
puppetry.
It did turn in 20 seconds. Don't know why they're not letting it do it.
I think there is a puppetry between how the EBU carries a show and how RAI carries a show. And as you said, Giorgio, most of the people in the EBU are Northern European kind of, let's make sure everything is fine before it goes on, and Italy is used to improvising, and maybe there is
Yeah.
no really compromise being brought there. I think if I mean whether or not the sun is turning, screw it. We're gonna get some decent performances anyway. And I actually think it was maybe an over ambitious stage to begin with, because the whole turning structure, I don't think we've ever seen anything as big. If it actually worked, it would have been great. And I actually look forward to the interval acts to see how grandiose that stage is gonna look like. But yeah, also I don't think it's actually fair that no one can use it, because everyone had planned, differently. So, Bex, have you seen the stage?
Yes, I have. I'm gonna say I was a bit disappointed by the Italians, because I know that they love going like extravaganza. I mean, I know that they spend their time when it comes to these shows. So I was quite disappointed when it came to their staging. But I guess, as you guys saying, I mean, it's really up to the EBU. I mean, and if there's nothing really we can do, there isn't. Just I hope that everything comes together at the end when it comes to the shows and to the final.
Yeah, I feel
Nice.
like for the next 30 years, we're going to get boring Floria Weeder stages. Like the one we got in Ukraine 4 years ago, that was basically just LEDs and nothing else.
A
And
spaceship.
that way, everything's going to be safe. Yeah. I feel
Yeah.
like after something more ambitious and different that didn't go as well as planned, that's going to be like the future of Eurovision.
Well, Rainbow of Death or Sun that emits light. We do have 40 acts, and we did see 40 rehearsals through some very dodgy TikToks or through some usual exclusive rehearsal clips. And I want to kick this off and ask everybody straight off the back, which was your favorite rehearsal in terms of staging, performance, and vocals? Which was the one that stood out the most to you? And I'm gonna start with Mikhail, because I know we've had some conversations about certain countries, and I'm interested to hear what you think.
Well, I would love to say Albania, but as is my country, I wouldn't say that. Well, one of the countries that already is my top two. It's Spain. I really liked it, and we had the opportunity. I don't know if you guys already saw that, some extra rehearsals that were recorded, and I really got surprised by it. And one of the stages that let's say, man, I didn't like a lot is Lithuania. I don't know why, but I really liked that song, and I have put it in my top 10. But I just saw something like copy paste of from their national final, and I will say the same for Sweden. But like Lithuania, I don't know if she has already some surprises for us in the live show in the first semifinal. I don't know, some holograms that they said, but as I saw from the clip, I'm a bit disappointed by Lithuania. Like I wanted something more classic from her.
Bex, what
So
did you think?
Spain and Lithuania.
Um, I think I was really impressed by Greece, and also by Latvia. Greece, when it came to literally the staging. I mean, there's so many chairs and props on the stage, so I really like the way they went for it. Latvia, I like their energy they brought to the stage. I mean, I wasn't quite a fan of the of the song at first, but I really am really enjoying it. My least favorite has to be Sweden. I find it quite very plain
Oh,
sailing. Yeah, I do not like Sweden, and I'm disappointed by Albania. I have to say. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the song, but that pink color with that song, I definitely don't like it.
I absolutely agree
So.
with you on Albania, Bex. That song, that's a sexy song. It needs edge. It needs red. It needs black. That bubblegum pink and blue has absolutely no business in being there. But I thought that she was going to do very well, but she'll still do well, but not as well as I thought. About my favorite, I think that the one that I'm looking forward to the most is the British staging. It looked really cool with all those lights and the spaceships and everything, and Sam looked really cool. Like I can see so many people voting for him just based on the staging. And staging that disappointed me, I don't know. Like many of them were pretty bad in my opinion. Probably Azerbaijan because the staging makes no sense. But I already hate the song, so I don't know if the opinion is based on my opinion on the song or on the staging itself. But it's just him on this like bleachers looking at this other guy, and he has no idea what he's singing about probably, and the Azerbaijani delegation has no idea what the song is about either, and they're just singing to each other like it's a love song. Makes no sense. How about you, Sean?
I wouldn't say Albania was my biggest disappointment because I really, really like the song. I find it hard to, distance myself from how much I like the song. But yeah, I did expect something better. But I will say, I think the second rehearsal was a complete
Yeah.
train wreck, and it's not going to be anything like that. You can probably tell us more about that, right, Mikhail?
Yeah, I can tell you more. And for Becca that said about her pink dress, maybe we have another surprise for the first semifinal. She will be with a lot of surprises, and we
Okay.
talked with our official delegate, and they said she will have something special only for the first semifinal that we also don't know what she is going to make. But also for the dresses, I think she will change them, or maybe we'll make we'll modify it. But yeah, the second rehearsal, Sean is right. Like it's something like different, and I don't know why they put another rehearsal on YouTube that wasn't from the right rehearsal that she wanted, but it happens.
Even the sound quality was terrible. Like when she starts whipping her hair, you could hear
Yeah,
it on the microphone. I
you
think
can
there
hear
were
the
a lot
mic
of
with the hair. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's cool.
there
Yeah.
were a lot of technical difficulties there. So I'm hoping Albania can iron it out. My favorite one was San Marino. I was expecting I was expecting big staging from Achille Lauro, but this is just epic. This is epic. The bull, Ti chiama Roberta. I think it works. It's great. I also really, really, really liked Serbia, but it was also kind of cut and paste from the national final, which is a good thing because it was great to begin with. But now I think it's more effective, and they do have some of the lyrics appearing on the floor LEDs, I think, which we haven't seen yet. And I'm also pretty surprised by Ireland. They actually did it right. The staging really really works. I always hated those slumber parties. I always thought she should have had more than two dancers. I always hated her dresses, and everything just seems to have fallen into the right place. Um, and the worst ones, I think Moldova. I don't know what I
Yeah,
was
pretty
expecting,
disappointed by
but
that. Yeah.
I don't know if I should say it. I'm gonna say it. Fuck it. They look like old men singing on a wedding, drunk, kind of
But that's
more.
endearing. People
No,
like
it's
old
not
men.
endearing. I don't know what kind of old men you like, but
No, I don't like old men, but people find it endearing. Like they look so amateurish. Let's vote for them.
but they're
Unfortunately,
dressed
many
like
locals think like this.
16-year-olds. They're trying to look like 16-year-olds, but it for me it just doesn't work. I was expecting some sort of, I wouldn't say expensive, but I was expecting a prop on stage. Like I don't know if it would
Mm.
necessarily be a train, but we didn't get anything, and I don't know. I just didn't like it. And for me, actually, the worst one, not only because of the vocals, but I do think the staging actually is very, very uninventive. To me, the worst one is Austria. I am super let down by this performance. The vocals are a tragedy, and I, I think the staging is really. It's like, okay, the song is called Halo. 10 seconds to think. And let's bring a giant ring of lights and make it look like the biggest concert in the world. I don't know. I don't know. I think they should have taken some inspiration from the music video for that staging, to be honest. But, and mind you, this is a song that initially was in my top 10. But now I almost wouldn't mind to see it. I actually think it should not qualify with those terrible vocals. Which, by the way, Giorgio, on the other live stream, we were talking about vocals and pre-recorded vocals.
Yeah.
Not even the pre-recorded backing vocals can help it. Or is it live backing vocals? I think they're live actually.
Don't know, but they're still in time to change it for the Ignite anyway, so
Unless she
maybe
can
they'll
buy
do
herself
that.
a new pair of tonsils. I don't know.
Oh, poor girl. Don't be so hard on her.
But
But now,
from the from the second rehearsal of Austria, like the backing or the back vocals were like pre-recorded already, and she was singing like up from the pre-recorded vocals, and she also didn't sound good at all. So that's the problem. Like even
The
with
they
mix
the
was
need to
pre-recorded
make the
terrible.
vocals,
backing
it's a
vocals
problem.
louder so you can
Yeah.
like Fendi
So
last year.
period doesn't exist after.
I think they should have just they should have just selected a singer that can sing. Full stop. I mean, it's the Eurovision Song
Yeah.
Contest. Is it really that hard to pick someone who can sing?
I mean,
Why are we
Austria is full of
picking
professional
singers?
singers anyway.
Why are we picking singers who are 18 years old and they never stepped on a stage and then they go to Eurovision? Really? I don't know. I think this is. I wouldn't call it karma, but they should have seen this coming, and it's not gonna be good on the night. I think.
I mean, everybody saw it coming
Yeah.
when the name was revealed. Everybody was like, "Okay, this girl has no experience. It's going to be a train wreck." Like that's what everybody was saying,
Yeah,
and that's what
I mean,
happened.
I was hoping, that there would be a good blend between the backing vocals and her, but it's not even it doesn't even work. Like the part where we saw on YouTube where she's like, and I'm stronger, and she's just shouting while the backing vocalist try to sing the song. I don't know, man. I don't know. If this qualifies over Lithuania, I'm gonna get mad. I'm gonna get
Oh,
mad.
Same
God.
here. Same
If
here.
Lithuania doesn't qualify, I'm going to be so mad. Like what? I'm very anti-juries, but the juries have a job, and rewarding songs like Lithuania is their job. If they
Yeah.
don't do that, I'm going to be so mad.
I agree. I think actually Lithuania is the biggest victim of this malfunctioning stage because I read that they had plans. I read somewhere that they were literally going to have the sun like in a circle, and she would be in the middle of it, and like the camera
Yeah.
would be spinning against the arches, and that would have been a moment. But obviously now they can't do that, and I think it's probably the biggest victim of the changes
Yeah, they
had
screwed
to
her
make.
up.
And I want to tangent to like we've talked about it, but I want to mention Greece as my biggest grower, and maybe you guys can talk about your growers and your disappointments. Greece is actually a song that I wasn't checking in for, but the staging, I have to give it to them. It works. It makes it look good. It does what it needs to do, and this could probably finish out inside the top 10.
God forbid. I need Greece to flop so they understand that selecting random people from non-Greek countries is not a formula that works for them. But yeah, I have to admit that their rehearsal went really well. But I still don't see the televoters going for something like that. Like, it's a pretty boring song in the end.
So which rehearsal would you say that this song I didn't really check in for before, but now it's growing, the whole thing is growing on me and I can actually appreciate it.
I already said the British one is the one that grew
British
on me
one.
thanks to the rehearsal. But most of the rehearsals, I don't know if it's the clip that they showed that's poor quality or whatever, but most of them looked pretty boring to me. Like, a lot of the rehearsals, like, I wouldn't want to watch the whole performance because, like, they don't make me want to watch it. Like, I saw very little creativity this year, and it's probably due to the frustration of the various delegations having to change their plans last minute or anything. But like even the Netherlands, which I really wanted to do well, like what is that rehearsal? It looks
I
horrible.
agree.
The light in the faces that she makes. Oh my god, I wasn't
I
expecting
agree.
it. And the
It looks really
executive director
lifeless.
of the Eurovision is Dutch, so
Is it the yeah
the
yeah
producer, yeah,
producer? Yeah, yeah. I think that it's not just about the staging. They had a show in the Netherlands. I forgot what it's called,
the
but they
laser
had
show,
when she performed with lasers like across
yeah.
her face, and even that I was like, really, lasers again from the Netherlands. But now I kind of wish they brought that because
Yeah.
it would have been so much more creative than
You
the
see, the
one
Dutch songs
they're
have all been
bringing.
sounding the same for the past 10 years. So even if they keep recycling the same performance, it's going to work for all of them. So the lasers would have been a great idea, in my opinion.
Yeah. Any other disappointments? Because I have more.
But aren't we going like song per song, or we're just talking like this?
If we did that, we'd be here until midnight.
Oh,
So,
you're
Yeah.
right.
you want to talk about someone
Can I mention Cyprus
Yeah, you can.
as a disappointment or as a grower?
as a disappointment? I mean,
Okay.
I saw the rehearsal. So I'm not a vocal. I mean, I don't understand how vocals work. I mean, I don't understand anything when it comes to these matters. But I expected something different from Cyprus, since the song is quite folklore, is quite ethnic. It's just I expected something better, and her vocals, from my end, I think she could have done a bit better. But as a grower, there's Latvia and Iceland. I really am enjoying their performances, and I'm quite surprised.
Iceland.
Yes, I mean, when it comes to Iceland, I don't know. They have this kind of calms on stage, and they're just there singing peacefully, and I'm, I'm enjoying it. While Latvia, they're bringing all those beautiful colors on stage, and it's beautiful and to actually watch, and their energy, it's well needed on the stage.
Definitely. Mikea, I know that you wanted to say something about Cyprus.
No, yeah, I really loved Cyprus till the second rehearsal, and I'm really also disappointed. And I agree totally with Becca. But another disappointment for me, it's the host country, the Italy. I don't know, like I really, really like the song, and Sean, that we reacted to the song together,
Yeah.
and we really loved the Sanremo version, and it was like super nice, and their vocals were so magical, like the harmony and everything. But I think that they haven't taken the Eurovision very seriously, and the second rehearsal that we saw yesterday was just like terrible. And they really choose the worst part of the 30 seconds with Blanco, that was a night before in Paris, like having a concert, and after that, yeah, we'll just try some vocals at in Turin stage, and it's out of my top 10. It was on my fifth place and was like fixed, but now after that we also, just because of they haven't taken the Eurovision seriously, and Cyprus too. Yeah.
It's not that they don't take it seriously, it's just that they're pretty much convinced that they're not going to win again for some reason. Like they've been given various interviews where they say, "Oh, we're not winning again because a country can win 2 times in a row." Well, Ireland did, but whatever. And yeah, they're pretty much like surrendering to this fact. But I don't think should be the right mindset. Like, if countries that are doomed did that, then they will have a horrible show. So, and I agree with you that their performance is pretty boring. Like, I wish that they hadn't gotten rid of the like gay love story thing between them.
The
So
what?
yeah, pretty the gay love story thing, like when he grabbed his shirt,
Ah, 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 ah.
yeah, stuff like that. That would have
I
worked amazingly on Eurovision.
I'm gonna sit here as the Italy defense boy. I think, I think we talked about Italians on the whole being improvisers, and I think Blanco and Mahmoud as professional artists, I don't think they do rehearsals very well. I think they're just used to showing up and performing,
Hmm.
and obviously we're not gonna see their best during the rehearsals, and I hope we don't because there are so many countries that show up during rehearsals, but then something happens on the performance in the evening and it doesn't go right. I think Italy is the reverse effect of that. I think they want to really, first of all, they were both on tour and they're both probably exhausted. They need vocal rest, they need mental rest, they need to switch off for a while. I wouldn't even have had them doing the press, actually. I would have just been like, okay, thank you for coming to rehearse and I'll go to bed, because they really, really need to just discharge, to recharge from the whole scene. And the big five have a week. They have okay, they need to sing during the semifinal, but they have a week. So I think we're yet to fall back in love with Briefly. I haven't fallen out of love with it. This is still my favorite song of the year, and in a way, I'm actually happy that it's not making waves during rehearsals, because it's stuck for so long that it needs to dip down a little bit in people's expectations for it to come back up on the final night. And I really hope that they get the rest and the recharge that they need, because we need them on top form in the final. I still think Italy have what it takes to potentially do some damage. I'm not going to talk about winners, but you know what I mean.
Even with that,
go ahead.
No, I would
No,
say
go.
even with that disastrous rehearsal that they had, I saw that they rose a lot on Spotify, like in Switzerland, Lithuania, and Iceland. If that effect like comes after such a bad rehearsal, then imagine with a good performance.
Exactly.
But the song is really commercially set to do well, but Eurovision is another thing, so we will see.
And I want to reference Cyprus a little bit, because we all
me too
mentioned it.
later.
I think the staging is okay, the whole shell thing, and it's something I didn't expect. What I really don't like personally are the projections. They just cover everything, and you can't even tell how many dancers there are with her. And again, I hate to name drop, but to me this is typical Marvin Dietman staging. You get one motive on the staging, and we want to work just with that motive. The same thing happened with Elena Tsagdinu last year. We had the mirror and the mirror letters at the back. I don't know, but I still hope Cyprus will qualify. More than any other year, I wanted them to qualify, because I want them to continue sending on songs like this, ethnic and inspired by their own folklore or the Greek folklore. But let's hope they qualify. Giorgio, you wanted to say something about Cyprus?
Yeah, I think that they managed to get everything wrong this year, because that song, it calls for sensuality, and the performance is the opposite from that. Like the faces that Andromache and her dancers are making, they look in pain, and those colors, those projections, even the shell thing, like I think everything is wrong there. Like she should have just recreated the garden part of her music video. That would have been perfect, but this staging makes absolutely no sense with the song, in my opinion. Like that's the biggest disappointment for me, not Azerbaijan.
I would have liked the garden as well. I would have.
Yeah, like she just needed to be on a beach chair with her dancers fanning her, and that would have been like a Greek goddess staging. Pure, simple, genuine, and effective. They tried to overdo it, and I think that hiring Marvin Dietman to do that was wrong, because he has nothing to do with Greek culture, and that song calls for somebody who knows about Greek culture, So yeah, they got everything wrong for me.
Yeah. And do you still think it could qualify?
If they do, maybe 9th or 10th, but like it's now 50-50 for me. I actually think that San Marino is now a likely qualifier instead of Cyprus. Unfortunately, because I can't stand Achille Laura, but he really brought a teleboat catalyzing show, and I have to give it up to him.
And Giorgio, now he's the definition of being cool on stage.
So now you
I
can
wouldn't
feel
say
cool
he's
as well.
being cool on stage. He's just being extra, which is not necessarily cool, but it is eye-catching for a live performance.
Well, he is. I mean, it is like when you see it. I mean, the minute you see it, okay, I want to watch the show. So he is actually being cool.
Yeah, I mean, he leaves you perched watching it. So I think he's in the final at this point instead of Belgium,
All I have
which
to
is
say, all I have to say is si chiama Roberta.
say, I was saying
That's such a moment for me. Yeah, Belgium is also one of my biggest disappointments. But
instead
please
of
go ahead.
Belgium, that was the most boring minute of my life. Like he was giving us nothing, and I used to think he was going to be a jury favorite, but now I don't think he has any chances to qualify anymore because that really gave us nothing. Like it's
Also, the stage
yeah, it's
was
the typical
empty.
Belgian staging. Last year they got in
Yeah,
by miracle. I don't think miracles happen every year, so this year they're out, which is
I
too
think
bad
last
because the
year they
song
had a
is
much
nice.
better song. I think last year they had a much better song. And this year, not
Yeah.
only is
Last
the
year,
song kind of hollow and the
last year
staging
they
is
stood out
very,
more. It was the only slow song in a while. Like you remember
yeah,
the first semifinal last year. This
yeah.
year,
To me,
with
this
all the male
song,
ballads.
to me, the song is still hollow, and the staging does nothing to elevate it. And
Hmm.
what we can't compare it to last year, actually, Jeremy Marquez has shockingly not very good vocals. I expected so much better from a voice winner, Belgique, all of that, propaganda, and the song, the key is too high for him. I think that I don't know if they're gonna, bring it down Roxanne style, but they should because Bubu can't reach the notes, and I was shocked because I thought if there could be anyone in both semifinals who could really go through based off the strength of their vocals and giving a really show-stopping vocal performance, it could be Belgium. But this is actually also one of my disappointments. I think Belgium is looking towards another non-qualification. Okay, what do you think?
I think the same. I really liked, and in the pre-parties, Jeremy was like good. I wouldn't say great, but it was good, like some vocals. And in the second rehearsal, apart from the fact that we didn't see any kind of staging, like it was empty, and I really liked the last year's song comparing to this year, but it was really disappointing for me because I like the part that she's always singing this high note, "I'm gonna break you," and that's very nice to hear it like repeatedly. But if you don't have a vocal, like it doesn't. For me, it's a non-qualifier also.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, before we started getting into this, but we kind of already did. Focusing on either semifinals, and I guess let's kick it off in semifinal one. Who do you think is a country that was probably out, but is now probably in, and vice versa? So let's kick it off with semifinal one. And I would say I always thought that Latvia would qualify, but just to carry on this narrative, I think Latvia is now a safe qualifier. The energy that they're bringing is infectious. I think not only juries are going to get behind them, but sorry, not only televoters are really going to get behind them, but I can see the juries showing some love. We're talking potentially, 10th to 12th place with the jury. But the televote is really, really going to root for this. And I actually think Latvia is a safe qualifier. Bex, what do you think?
Um, I think Iceland. I mean, when it comes to qualifying, I think Iceland I can see it like qualifying to the final. And there's also Armenia. I mean, everyone knows I was not a big fan of Armenia. Um, but I think with the staging it has, yes, I know you're quite surprised. Yes, I think with the staging that it has, I
But
mean,
I
I think
agree.
yeah, it's quite a safe pass for her to go to the final.
Mikhail?
For me, are two. It's Latvia. First one, like I really was impressed by their second rehearsal. Like the lightning, all the white light, it was like very good, and their vocals were so nice, and the camera angles were like very good. And I don't think Portugal, for example, I don't know why they had this kind of hype, but they were out of my top 10. But hearing the second rehearsals and Maro's vocals with other vocalists, like I think they are a sure qualifier now. For me, I don't know. Maybe the fans already put them in the top 10, like safe qualifiers. For me, it wasn't because I don't think that's that song had a potential, and maybe another song would be okay. But I think it will be a safe qualifier. And it's something very surprising for me. I don't know if you are ready to kill me. It's Bulgaria. I don't know. I really like their rehearsal. I know it's crazy to say that, but I really like their rehearsal. Like, it was so matching with the fire, with the pyros, and yeah, the song is so boring. But I mean, their vocals in the end were like the official music video, and it didn't change. Like, we weren't expecting something from Bulgaria, but from their second rehearsal, after watching all those country failing with the camera and everything, it was like very good. I'm maybe, I don't know, it will be the most surprising thing from the semi one, but yeah, Latvia and Portugal.
I still think Bulgaria is safely in the bottom three. Like, I have nothing against the song, but I don't think they're bringing anything memorable enough. I agree with everybody else on Latvia. They're pretty much surely qualifying now, which is good for a song from slot number 2.
Yeah.
And what else? And I used to have Portugal as a qualifier, but unlike you, Mikea, now I feel like they're not really that safe anymore because Iceland also had a lovely rehearsal. And, the second half of semifinal 1 has a lot of similar songs: Portugal, Croatia, which I think is out, but anyway, Armenia, Iceland. And I feel like only maximum 2 of them are going to make it.
Yeah.
But I don't think Portugal is that safe because I think it's going to get forgotten by the end of the semifinal. And juries, like, they might love it or they might ignore it. Like, you never know because they have so much to choose from in this semifinal. So I'm not too sure about Portugal, but if they do qualify, I'm going to be happy. But I can also see it being the shocking qualifier of the year.
I don't think it will be that shocking, to be honest. I'm with you, Giorgio, on Portugal. I always find it hard to predict how Portugal's gonna do because when we always thought they would qualify, they didn't, and when we didn't think they would qualify, they did. So I kind of don't know what to think. I don't care for the song enough, honestly, but I don't know. I feel like as Mikea said, I feel like the fandom really hyped this song up to the imperial heights of Eurovision hype, but me personally, I don't think it's that great. It's quality, yes, but it's nothing that we've never seen. A song that I think many people had outside of their favorites, and now I think is gonna safely qualify, is Armenia. Yes, it's not every day I agree with my fellow Maltese correspondent down under, but not in Australia, Malta. But yeah, Armenia's going through. I think the staging, it's okay. It's not what we expected, but that's when we really are surprised and enticed by Eurovision rehearsals, when we don't expect to see what we're given. And I kind of like the toilet paper / sticky notes that what's her name, Rosalind, has in her bedroom. I like that she's taking them off to reveal some words here and there. Yeah, this is gonna qualify. It's closing the show, so it's pipped to do well. Yeah, I think Armenia could really be into this, and I have said it before, but I think Austria now is probably out.
I mean, I think Armenia has been safe ever since she sang at the first pre-show. Like, she proved that she could perform and that she could sing. So I used to think Armenia was not going to qualify when the song first came out, but then between the lasting and running order and her performance abilities, I think she's safely in.
Correct. Quick shift to semi-final 2, and there is one song we haven't talked about, but I'm gonna save it for a little bit later. Again, I'm gonna start with Bex, a song that you didn't think would qualify, but now is probably gonna inch in, and vice versa. Tell us.
Semi-final 2. Okay. Finland. I did not like Finland's song, so I mean, at first I was like, okay, maybe this can qualify. But after seeing the rehearsals, I didn't really like the way he performed. I mean, everyone said that his vocals are not on point and he's not quite a good singer, but I'm not quite impressed with Finland. Agror also from second semi-final. I think it has to be a bit of. I think Malta. I mean, she has improved, but I mean, there were times where I thought, okay, she's definitely not gonna pass, but qualify. Sorry, but I do actually want to see Malta qualify. I mean, she's actually improving. I mean, not the best song that she has, but she's definitely improving.
But she's still wearing those horrible sneakers. Why is she
I
wearing
like the
them?
sneakers.
She
Well, at
tries.
least
She tries to be
well,
relatable,
I
I
like the
think, but
sneakers.
they're
I mean, she's
horrible. Ew.
but I think she's comfortable. I mean, I was speaking with a friend of mine today, and we were there's something that I noticed was that nowadays, the women performers, they're actually wearing sneakers on stage, not wearing these heels. So actually, I think it's nice to move away from that shift. I mean, from being this feminine kind of performer, but just you being comfortable by just wearing sneakers. I mean, even if we take Denmark, I mean, they're wearing suits and they're being comfortable. I think it's more important nowadays to be comfortable on stage than actually not wearing something that you don't feel comfortable in because it shows.
And she
Yeah, but
has choreography as well. So
Emma
she
is
needs to be
going full
comfortable.
on Scandinavian between the song and wearing a sneakers with a dress. Like that's something we don't do in Italy. I don't know about Malta, but she's truly gone full Scandinavian for
That
this
is that is
participation.
something I would do for sure.
Oh,
I would probably go barefoot, but I'm not going to sing in Eurovision, so
yeah.
skip me. I wanted
Now
to
that you're
touch
going
up
to
on
be very
Malta.
critical of that.
I wanted to touch up on Malta because for the first time in years, probably since 2013, I think our staging is really crisp, really effective, really it's just really, really good. And I'm so happy with it the way it is. I think this is probably going to qualify. I can never tell, with Malta, but I think this is now in a good space to qualify. The performance is dynamic. It's got choreography. Emma can sing, but I will say on that little exclusive rehearsal snippet, she sounded really breathy. And I hate it when people bring up this excuse, but she was actually dead sick that day, so she didn't sound very good. But if it's Malta, it's fine. We can use this excuse. Um, yeah, I think Malta's now has better chances to qualify than they did coming into this Eurovision. Mikhail, what do you think?
Yeah, I really want Malta in the final, to be honest. You already know that I know her from the Italian TV show that she participated, and I really like her personality and her voice. Maybe, as Becca said, this is not her best song because she's already very rich on her discography, but I really want my Malta on the final. I think there are countries that for me weeks ago were out of the top 10 from the semi 2, and now I think they have potentially material to go through the final. It's Israel, it's San Marino, and it's also the Ireland. And I'll tell you why. Israel, because I liked his second rehearsal. Like the voice, the vocals, he can sing, and we can say that for sure. And yeah, he brings an energy. Likewise, being the spot number 2 on the first semi, and Israel being on the second semifinal, I think he may go through with a good performance. San Marino, because he already did something that the people were like, "Wow, we didn't expect them from San Marino." And San Marino, till 1 week ago, was a sure non-qualifier, and now it's already increasing also in the odds in bets. And Ireland, because it was one of the only staging that I saw this year that could completely hide the sun and the rainbow of the death with the lights. You said, Sean, in the beginning, that it's like something very very old, like very high school musical, with all this dancing and other things. But I think she has some good vocals, and with the right, don't know, maybe choreography, we haven't seen it very good. I think it may have a chance. I don't know, these are country likely to qualify. I don't see any one of them sure, but it's likely.
I agree with you on Ireland. I think the song, it literally did what it needed to do. The performance, it did what it needed to
Yeah.
do. And I'm really happy with how it is now. I still I still don't think it's gonna qualify, based off the fact that the song, to me, is still weak. But I know that there is a niche, there is an audience for it, and I would be happy if Ireland didn't do as bad as they did the last two editions, because they did come last in the semi. So even second to last would be a victory for them. And it's ironic we're talking about the country with the most wins.
Well, I don't think Ireland is coming in the bottom three of the semi-final anymore. I'm not sure it could qualify. Like, I can see it getting small votes, like 2 or 3 points from many countries, but not enough to qualify entirely. But I don't see it being a train wreck either. And as for Israel, I really struggle to find out which type of audience that song and performance might have, because it's too camp. And I feel like that's the type of performance that the Eurovision is trying to move on from. So I don't really see it making it to the final because of this. Like, it's something that would have done really well 10 years ago, but now people don't really want that stuff anymore.
Yeah, I'm kind of, I don't know. When I was filming a predictions video to post on my channel, which by the way I never did, whatever, I was going back and forth. Could Israel take Finland's spot just because they're both, together they are opening the show? And I kind of dismissed that thought and said, no, what are you thinking? You're crazy. Finland's going to qualify. But now I'm like, I don't know if it could happen, but if it did, I really wouldn't be surprised. I don't necessarily like the performance. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it. I can't stand Mikhail Ben David. I think his personality is so faked up to the point that it becomes arrogant.
It's not a personality, it's a character that he's playing.
It's a character, yeah. The character is borderline arrogant for me. And when you don't relate to a character so much that you call them arrogant, I kind of hope that they don't qualify. And like you said, I think it's really, really pushing on a stereotype that the fans of this song actually might not appreciate. So I don't know what to feel about Israel, but if they did qualify, I kind of think they might rain on Finland's parade, because Finland, as much as the performance is looking solid, again, it's going to be interesting to see how bad vocals end up resulting like this year, because we actually have quite a lot of bad vocals. We talked about Austria, we talked about Finland, we talked about someone else for sure, but I forgot who. But there are quite a few people, and I don't know.
I think Finland is safely in with the televoting success. I think they're safely in. Like, they're qualifying like 4th or 5th even.
I don't know. But probably you're right. But if they didn't qualify, I actually wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
A song that I had... Go ahead.
I would say there's no song competing against Finland for rock votes anyway in the semifinal too.
Marino.
Yeah, but San Marino is very different. Like, Finland is more like the dated type of rock, like Blind Channel last year. San Marino is more like the glam rock. So they're really different. So I don't think that Finland is not qualifying in any way. Maybe the juries will have them pretty low, but the televoting, like, they're getting 100 and up, in my opinion.
Yeah, and Måneskin and Blind Channel didn't cancel out each other last year, so
no,
might be right. One song
they can coexist.
One song I wanted to mention that actually not many people had it, to qualify before, but now I think it's completely out, and it's Montenegro.
Mm-hmm.
I think the staging is kind of a non-event. Her peacock, lighting thing at the back of
cobweb.
I don't know, man.
And her dress also, that was like an astronaut.
Yeah. I kind of have the impression, like sometimes we talk about countries not giving their artists enough artistic integrity. I feel like in Montenegro they need to have that one person in the delegation that says, "No, Vladana, you're not gonna show up in a press conference wearing mirrors." And no, Vladana, you will not put a peacock outfit on stage. And no, Vladana, you will not sing in Italian. I feel like all of her ideas are just terrible. This woman, all of her ideas are terrible. The singing in Italian is gonna be cringe-worthy.
Oh my gosh, she's singing in Italian?
She's gonna sing the last chorus in
Yeah,
Italian.
she's singing it in.
Oh dear. I didn't know
Oh
that.
god.
With a Montenegrin accent.
No, come on.
I don't know. This is very try hard to me, and I thought that it had a chance to qualify based off the fact that it's the only Balkan ballad, quite frankly, in the whole Eurovision this year. But I just can't see jurors away from the Balkans giving any merits. And she's also one of those people who can't really sing live. So
Yeah, she's dead in the water, in my opinion. Like bottom three, and I'm sorry because her qualification would have meant Montenegro keeps, participating in Eurovision in the coming years, but that's not happening if she doesn't qualify. That's really unfortunate.
I still think they will come back, but
Hopefully.
they come back with a better. I was gonna say a better song. I like the song. I just need someone else to sing it. Sorry,
But
Vladana.
speaking of Balkan countries that in the water, then we should also mention Croatia, which last minute changed the song like to Croatian lyrics in the end, which in my opinion is a desperate move. The stage looks empty, the color pattern is wrong completely, and very mismatched from the song, and that's another song that's dead in the water, as is Slovenia, which, I mean, they never brought any energy to the stage, and while some people might find these endearing, I don't think enough people will in order to make it qualify. So I think the only Yugoslavian country that's making it to the final is Serbia this year.
As it should be. I think Slovenia and Croatia were out
Yeah.
the minute they chose their songs on
Yeah.
the same night. And the staging absolutely does nothing to.
And there's Macedonia as well, which in my opinion is safe for last place in the semifinal. Like apart from the 20 votes from Montenegro and Serbia, they're not getting anything else.
Speaking of North Macedonia, a lot of people actually said that this improved. I don't know on what planet this improved. Maybe Andrea can sing, yes. We talked so many times about people who can't really sing as well as they do in the studio cut. She can sing well, but from what
everything
I've
else
seen,
that's wrong.
What I've seen, this is just black staging.
Yeah. And she's so unlikable in my opinion. Like she comes off as aggressive.
She's a kickboxer.
Yeah, oh my god. Let me not say anything rude to her, but I don't think anything is right for her. Okay, if you want to be a kickboxer, then sing something that's actually aggressive, not a cheap electropop song that doesn't really go anywhere. Should have come with something, go all the way if you want to be aggressive. This is just a weak act.
Yeah. Mikaya, any final thoughts on the 100 countries we talked about?
The Balkan ones.
Yeah, I think that Serbia will be. Yeah, I agree with Sean. Serbia will be the only Yugoslavic country that will qualify. Like I don't see Croatia at all. Like apart that she had a copy paste from our entry, like with the clothing and other style, like blue and pink. I don't know why they choose the same. But also Slovenia, some are saying that, yeah, that's good. I really want to hype that song, but it's like no qualifying. It doesn't. And also North Macedonia. So we will see a strong Serbia, in my opinion. Even if in the second rehearsal, it seemed a bit very dark, to be honest. Like I really like Constructor on her national final being a bit more white, more light in the stage. But I don't know. I saw it like red and dark, and don't know. Maybe they changed it. What do you think, Sean?
I
know that you like Serbia.
Yeah. I think Serbia is in the running to potentially win Eurovision. There you go, I said it.
I don't think so.
Northern Europe is not voting for Serbia. That's the problem.
No, of course not. No.
Northern Europe is not voting for them.
Hear me out. I did say.
Can you imagine Estonia, for example, giving it one single point?
Gerd Epic's Eurovision guy doesn't think so. But then
I
again,
trust him. I trust Goldstone.
listen. I did say in the running. I don't think this is actually going to be in the winner. But I think the televote, not just Balkans and Mediterraneans. I genuinely think the Nordics actually do have a history of liking 9
That
ballads
was in the
and
2000s when there were a lot of
then
Yugoslavian immigrants. But not
quirky song,
anymore.
a quirky song. And who else can they vote for the quirky vote? I think Serbia is going to be a massive, massive televote success. I do think it's going to win the televote in the second semifinal because I don't think anyone else can. And
I
don't
think
talk to me
Poland
about
can.
Sweden. No comment whatsoever. I do think Serbia is going to surprise a lot of people. And by in the running to win, I mean to probably. I think we can make the top five. I think Constantine can really climb that scoreboard. And again, last year we've seen juries not being so badly behaved in relation to these kind of songs. We all thought they would destroy Manija, and then they put her 8 or 9.
But
We
it's
all thought-
Russia. I
But-
mean, Russia always gets 3 points from many countries.
They got points from Western juries last year. And if you're going to give points to Russia, which is the biggest villain, aren't you going to give points to Serbia? I don't know. I think
Serbia is
could
quite the
surprise.
same as Russia in the
I think
villainship
Serbia could
chart.
surprise. And I hope they do because this is actually one of my favorite songs. One of my top 3 this year.
It's my number 1 favorite, but I'm not getting my hopes up. Like, I expect maximum 150 points from the final televote, and that's been extra optimistic. But I don't think that Serbia is getting much more than its usual in the end. That's just me being realistic,
We'll see. I wanted to ask, but again, you guys are so ahead of me. That's good. I wanted to ask which one from the big 5 did we enjoy the most? And I'm going to kick it off because we didn't talk about this country at all. To me, objectively, taking into account everything, France was solid. France was really solid. I think the performance came together nicely. We've had some dodgy, performances in the pre-parties. And again, I think France is one where the televote is really going to get behind. Mikhail, what do you think?
Sorry,
No
Sean,
Albania?
you were. Yeah, sorry for my internet connection. It's like so bad because it's very rainy today.
Wow.
Can you please repeat the question?
No, I just said I liked France. What do you think?
Okay, about the France, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to mention it before. Like, I'm really surprised from France. And you made a question before, like which one is one of your growers? And France is really grower for me because I like their national final entry. Even if Eurovision classified as the official music video, they put the studio version like in the national final. In the pre-parties, they were so bad. In every pre-party in Madrid, in Amsterdam, in Spain, and seeing this second rehearsal, like Alvan with that voice, like keeping good at the right note, I'm really shocked and surprised. And I really think France deserves also to be in the top 10 for me, and it's on my top 10 now. It's a really grower for me, and I'm really surprised by that.
I think it's a safe top 10.
I hope
I
to.
don't think anything is safe with France because, like, they were a safe top 10 in 2018 and 2019, and then they ended like 13th or worse. But
They were absolutely not for me.
yeah, I mean, for me too. But so I don't stay this optimistic for France because it could go either way. But I do think they're going to be a huge televote success between 150 and 200 points in the final from the public. The juries, you never know, but what's important is that the people connect with it. So I have my hopes up for France in the end. Like, if they do well and come top 10 again, I'm going to be so happy for them. And yeah, their rehearsal was very promising. They were the only one with mostly green color scheme.
Yeah.
So they're going to stand out.
Bex,
And
which one of the
now,
big five did you like the most?
wait, I'm going to pee right now, okay? So wait for me for a minute. And
Enjoy.
don't insult me while I wait.
Bex.
I think that would be France. At first, I was not a big fan of the song, but it's definitely been a grower
United.
for me. Um, sorry,
House United.
House United. um, and I have also like Germany. Germany's song, it's growing on me. I mean, I wasn't really a big fan of it at first as well, but the more I listen to it, and even from the rehearsal, I mean, it's a pretty good, decent song.
I'm happy you mentioned Germany because it's the song that people are talking about is the obvious big five weak link. But I actually
Mm-hmm.
think Germany again. I talk a lot about surprises this year, but and I don't think Germany is gonna do anything in particular, but I think Germany has the potential to avoid the top 20, the bottom five. Sorry, I think they could be in the top 20 for the first time in my lifetime. I think. um, I think they can do it. I really like Malik Harris. I think there is a genuinity in his performance, and I appreciate when we didn't talk about Poland actually, but countries like Australia, Poland, Belgium to a degree, also Azerbaijan, these are all sad boy songs, and I don't connect to either of them. Whereas Germany, I connect to a lot, and I am hoping that they can get some love. And I think the rehearsal was just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking to Germany, if I can add something, I maybe they will not get 0 points this year. Maybe I don't know
Hopefully,
because it's a surprise for us. This 0 points, but Sean, I don't think it would be like up to the 20th place. Like would be something from the 20 and 24, 5. I don't know. It's like it's a weak song because we will have 10 songs from the first semifinal, 10 songs from the second, which are already so strong. We have a very strong big five: UK,
yeah.
Spain, Italy, and France that are already in the top 10 to win. So I don't think Germany could really stand out. He's a great vocalist, to be honest. Like he can sing very good live using his guitar, but I don't think the song is like strong enough to survive or to get a higher place. I'm sorry, Germany. But
No, I feel like Germany won't do that badly. Like they'll probably be 18th to 20th, but I think that the last slots in the final are reserved for songs that by miracle qualify from the semifinals.
Five
So
miracles are a lot, though.
yeah, but
Five miracles are a lot.
I don't think Germany is that weak. It's a song that people can easily connect with. It's very nostalgic. Especially a young adult audience going to like it. And it's even
Mhm.
becoming a hit in Germany, which hasn't happened since Michael Schulte. So I don't think it's going to be a disaster for them. Like it's going to be the worst performing out of the big five, but for Germany standards, it's not going to do that badly.
Yeah, I I hope it. Well, I mean, this is all wishful thinking. It is going to be the least successful Big Five song this year, even though I hope it won't be. And my wishful fifth place from the Big Five is reserved for a song that is very dear to my heart. Um, Maybe I shouldn't mention it because the Spanish fans will come my way.
Uh,
Yeah, but I have to give it to her.
starting with me.
Speaking of growers, I guess I have to give it to Chanel. This is probably did they change the did they kind of revamp the song again? I heard
Yeah,
something.
yeah, 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 yeah. I can tell you what they changed. They changed the instrumental part, like they added some saxophone, and the dance break part that in the official music video is like no sound at all. It's
Yeah.
just she dancing. They added something like that, and with saxophone too. Like
Okay,
there
so
were,
they
it
made it
was a.
worse.
I think no, I think it's better now. Like it's
Probably
because
more
you
Spanish
know
sounding, like
you know what? Spain was like really playing a bit in a dangerous way because we have seen all the performances in the pre-parties in the national final of Benidorm Fest, and they had just one choreography and one music video and one I don't know, karaoke version. So like we were used with this performance, and they just wanted to make something new for Eurovision, and it's good
I mean, good
because
for
it's the same
them. It wasn't
choreography,
we would
necessary.
see the same thing otherwise.
Yeah, but who cares? Like, it's just a few Euro fans. The wider public will nowhere care about what happened before, you know?
yeah.
So,
But is it
kind
the
of
same
pointless to change it like
choreography
this.
or it's completely different?
Which one, Sean?
Spain. Is it
Spanish
the
one.
same choreography or is it changed as well?
It's changed a bit. Yeah, it changed a bit.
No, it's the same, but there's some changes, and even I
It's
think she's
amped
more
up.
confident. I mean, I've seen the rehearsals, but she's also so more confident, and I think it's working in her favor.
I think that the Spanish stage is maybe a bit too dark for the song. That's my only issue. Other than that, the performance is going to be perfect because she's a professional dancer. And lower top 10 is maximum what they can hope for, and it's going to be a great result for Spanish standards.
I wanted to ask actually because there's a lot of talk on social media, Spain winning. Does anyone think Spain could win?
No.
No,
Mikea,
Hopefully,
maybe.
yes. Hopefully, yes.
Hopefully, yes.
Hopefully, but realistically,
No, no.
yeah.
Yeah, but you know, Sean, what's like really strange this year that I don't know if the same with you guys, because last year we have like four very nice entries like Switzerland, Italy, France, and we knew that one of these countries could win. But this year we are like, no, Italy's not winning because the production is terrible. Spain is not winning because like it's Spain, like they're not winning with that material. The Netherlands is not winning because they just won
The
2 years
Netherlands are
ago.
not winning
That's
Ukraine,
because half
true.
of Europe will
yeah,
vote for them.
Ukraine is not winning because we are not going to make
But
a
Ukraine is
song
winning,
from
in my
war political.
opinion. Like,
No,
Ukraine
Yeah,
is
but we are
clearly
like,
winning.
yeah, but this year is strange because we are just specifying the strong country as a as a non-winner, and in the end we are like, who's going to win?
I
He's
think
right.
Ukraine is
know?
going to win.
He's right. No, I do take your point, Mikea. I think
I
this
don't know.
year
I don't know. It's only for me, but it's really strange this year. Like we don't have too many strong countries that we pretend to win, but we have strong countries that are not winning, and
Yeah,
that's
but that's
strange.
because last year the standards were so high, and we got
Yeah,
spoiled.
also,
That's it.
but I really hope Greece is not winning. Like
Yeah, they're totally
it's
not winning.
I it's like overhyped at all, and that song is just like a normal song, and I hope any one of from the Greeks is watching us now, but I really hope Greeks don't win.
I
Yeah, you
hope
know
our
those
I hope
American
our
men.
friend I hope our friend Stella is watching.
Yeah, that's why what I was thinking. In fact, I pray God she's not
You
online.
know those American memes about raw chicken breast cooked with no seasoning? That's what I think when I hear Greece song. Because Greece is such a flavorful country, and then they saying that. I don't think
Yeah,
it's going
yeah.
anywhere near victory, and I don't think they're getting three-figure televote points. Like, I no longer think it's going to fail like Katerin Duska did, but at the same time, they're getting a mediocre result at best.
I think I think Greece is probably looking at a lower top 10 this year. But to be honest, and I actually never said this, but today I will because thank you, Mikea, for bringing it up. My biggest problem with Greece, I actually don't hate the song that much. I don't
Yeah.
think I like Amanda. We've talked about the Greek way of selecting artists, which I don't like. But aside from that, what really irritates me beyond belief is the Greek fans who think that this is the greatest Eurovision song in Eurovision history.
Yeah,
It's
they're a
not.
very nationalistic
It's not.
country, so
Get over
let
yourself.
them in their delusion, and
Yeah,
they're going
and
to get their
because
wake-up
of
call anyway.
because of that, we're all kind of engulfed in this Eurovision community, and we get irritated so easily. At least I do. And because of their attitude, I get discouraged from wanting Greece to do well. Like as much as I think this should, like, if I was picking the qualifiers, I would safely put Greece in the top 10 of semi-final one. But because of this attitude sometimes, and mind you, I'm not saying all Greeks are like this, but the ones that
Yeah.
are everywhere. And
You're
because of
right.
that attitude, I kind of
You're right.
wouldn't care if they didn't qualify. Even
But
though
you
I
know
like the song
what?
enough to want it to qualify.
You know what about
Sean,
Greeks? They had a whole 10 years of disappointing results, and they haven't humbled down one bit. Every year they're convinced they're going to do super well. I don't get
yeah.
it. You've been doing badly. You've been recycling the same formula that didn't get you far, and you think you're going to win or do amazingly. Like, get a wake up call or something.
I totally agree with Sean, and you stole my words because I was about to say that some of the Greek fans, like they were already have heard the song of Amanda, and they knew the song, and they were like, "Guys, be prepared because we are going to have the most victory song in the Eurovision Song Contest." And I was like, "Wow, what is going to be released?" And when the song was released, I was like, "This is the winner! This is the winner!" And I was like, no, this is not the winner.
Georgian.
And I was like Sean, like I really like the song. It's very pleasant song. Like I wouldn't mind to listen it while driving. It's very nice, radio friendly also. But because of this attitude, like making the song overrated and putting it as a sure winner, that's the thing that I also, if Greece doesn't qualify, I would be like yes for the fandom.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But no, because I really like the song. Like it's not in my top 10, but I really like it. It's nice, but not as a winner and like a magical Eurovision change history and other. It's like
And
overrated.
Greeks are saying all of that while the song isn't even charting in their own country. They're listening to Andromache, because that song clearly
Yeah.
reflects Greece much more, and they're completely ignoring their own entry, which is so funny to
Yeah,
me. But then
you're
again,
right.
I understand them because they're represented by something that doesn't represent Greece, and yet they act like they're forcing themselves to like it for the sake of their blind nationalism. And well, what can I say? If that's the way that keeps them going over there, oh, that's their problem. But I will
And
never do that for my country.
finishing off this talk about Greece, if there are any Greek people watching us, we love you. I'm surrounded by Greeks here in Finland. I love them. We're just talking about the fans that tend to irritate us with their blind
Yes.
nationalism. So, Greeks, we actually love you as well, and your food is great.
Yeah.
One final
Yeah.
question before we round this up. I wanted to ask you, sitting down watching both semifinals, who will you be rooting for? And I'm gonna kick it off in the first semifinal. It's annoying because the songs that I'm personally rooting for the most are the first three: Albania, Latvia, and Lithuania. And then the second one, it's obviously Malta, San Marino, and Serbia. But Bex, who will you and I be watching together and rooting for? You, not me.
So for the first semi-final, there's Albania, there's Iceland, and Latvia. For the second semi-final, I'm rooting for San Marino, Malta for once, and who else? I'm forgetting right now. Who else? I forgot for a second.
Serbia, maybe?
Oh, and Czech Republic. Czech
Oh,
Republic,
right.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We forgot to talk
Oh,
about
and
so many
Serbia.
countries,
Yeah, I
actually.
forgot Serbia.
But it's
How can I
fine. We
forget
have
Serbia?
Czech Republic,
Yes,
Romania,
Thanks.
Poland.
we have other
Norway.
live
Yes.
streams coming up. We have other live streams coming up, so save it for then. Yeah, Giorgio, who are you going to be rooting for?
In semi-final one, I think I'm going to televote for Armenia, and I also really like Lithuania. I
Your
will also
5
say,
televotes.
yeah, we have 5 televotes in Italy, not 20. And I also really like Norway, but their performance seems so amateurish, so we will see how it plays out on stage. And in semi-final two, obviously Serbia, and that's
And
it.
Mikhail?
Yeah, from the semi one, I will be, of course, with Albania. Like it's our year to prove that we can do also the difference very well. You know what? Not just because it's a nice song and it's like it's nice for the fans, but it should be a message for our jury, our national jury. Like we should be stop sending only ballots, and that's why I want a very good result for us this year, just to prove that if we do the change, we can do very well. because if it finishes like normally 16th or 17th, it will be like, hey, you see, like you can do well also with the bangers, and we will go with other 10 years ballads, and I really don't want that. I will be rooting for Lithuania. I really hope she makes some magic in the stage. And for the semifinal too, I will be rooting for the Czech Republic. It's my guilty pleasure this year. Like I really like them. It was on my top 10 on the pre-parties after they were out of my top 10 because Dominika was like she was wasn't on her best vocal. But watching the second rehearsals and with the revamp that they did, I really hope and I will hope for the Czech Republic for a nice result this year because they have 2 years, if I'm not wrong, that they are not qualifying.
No, just one.
Yeah, yeah. In Tel Aviv, they did not qualify in Beni
They
Christos,
did.
Oh,
so
they did. They did.
They did with Lake Malawi.
oh
They
yeah,
only got
yeah,
7 points from the Talibot, though. That was very disappointing for them.
yeah. But it was also overrated. Like
Yeah.
it got as points as they needed. So I will be. I want Czech Republic to do well, and I really like the staging. It's one of the best staging that we have this year. You saw the pictures from the lights, like lights off, lights off. But
Michelangelo's
it's
dead.
which
Michelangelo, they're gonna blow him up. They're gonna blow up Michelangelo, like the statue.
okay. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I thought
he's
you were.
dead.
I was dead. Like my people, because my friends
No, no,
called
no,
me
no, no,
Michelangelo, and I was like, no, I have internet connection here. I'm not dead.
no. Guys, thank you so much for joining. It's always a pleasure, and thank you to all the people who watched. We will be back for predictions for semifinal 1, 2, and eventually the final. And
Okay.
if you're watching this live stream later on, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and come and follow me on my Instagram. Usually I do this, but I don't have the graphic right now. Yeah, like, subscribe, and come and follow us. And we will see you later on. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye.